everyone, it's Berkeley Bride, and welcome back to In the Minority. And today I'm interviewing
Reed
and
London Tearney.
And today we're going to be talking about our workplace environments, as we're all people of color. We're all 16 and we're in high school, and so these are one of the first jobs that we're going to ever have in our lives. And we've all experienced different types of ignorance, racism, and I work from a different place. They both work at the same place while I work somewhere different. So yeah, we're going to talk about our work environment and just what we've been experienced with, and yeah. So the first question I'm going to ask you guys is, how do you feel being one of the few people of color at your workplaces?
I can start with, I don't really see a difference, to be honest. I feel like the work still happens, everything still goes as it should. We used to have more people of color in management at my store before, when I first started there, but they phased out kind of when I started. So I mean, it was kind of nice to have people there that looked like me when I first started, but I don't really see a difference, to be honest. The store runs the same, and I don't really see too much of a difference. But I can definitely say that it was not a lot easier, but it was a lot easier to relate to people like that in that scenario. But I still work the same and do the same as I've been doing since I've been working there.
And how long have you worked there for, and what's your position?
I've been working there for 2.5 years.
Oh, it's been that long?
Yeah, and I'm a customer service manager.
Oh my gosh, okay. And how's your experience been? And how long have you worked there for?
I worked there for a year and a few months. It's a first job, so it's not gonna be freaking top tier, like the love of my life, but it's good. I have encountered some entitled customers who just act so ignorant. My first week there, some guy told me about some lady in Africa. What did I have to do with me? Because I'm African American? I don't know. It's just ignorance like that.
And I know you're a cashier, right? And so how do you feel about your position? I mean, I'm a cashier where I work at, and I'll get into that a little bit later on. But yeah, how do you feel about being a cashier? Are you only on doing cashier, doing the money and stuff like that and checking out customers, or do you ever go in the back and help out, or yeah?
For most of the time, I'm up front, catching people out, but sometimes I will go in the back and help stock, or I'll face, and face just means you put everything to the front. So I'll do stuff like that, or if they need help with something, I'll go back, or I'll ask now if we need help, or any manager on the duty.
That's good. It's very, very good. And I will talk about my work experience. Yeah, I have worked at my job for 6 or 7 months, and I actually had a job prior somewhere else. And I'm a cashier at my job that I'm at now, and I'm a cashier at where I was before, but my jobs are very different. I used to work at a local, not a local, they're a huge branch store. I actually used to work at the same store that they work at now, a grocery store. And so I was only a cashier there, but now I'm a barista at where I work, so I make drinks and food. I am also still a cashier, but I'm more often at making drinks and food than I am doing the cashiering part, I guess, if that makes sense, when I was at a grocery store. I was called the M-word, and it was very, very just terrible for me, and I kind of felt like my workplace didn't really do enough. It's very funny to me, in my opinion, because I feel like a lot of the time when the M-word's passed around, or racial slurs in general are passed around, your managers or people in general just look past it. I'm not saying my manager looked past it. I'm not even sure if he was ever informed at the time, as there were other coworkers who were there that day. But I do know for a fact that nothing ever really happened to that man, and I'm pretty sure I saw him a few more times at that store. But that basically sums up why I only worked there for 7 months. And now I'm at my new job, which I've only worked for 7 months, but I'm still working there, and I hope to, because I actually love my new job a lot more. It's a lot more chill, a lot more relaxed. I think something that we also need to talk about that people don't talk about a lot is how you can be 15, 16 working with coworkers who are in their 30s.
50.
Yeah, and a lot of the time, and there's nothing wrong with that, but a lot of the time they can be extremely nasty to you.
Yeah. And I will say, for me, especially being one of the department managers, I kind of oversee the store in a way, but not really. Working with the other department managers who are 40, 50 years old, and they've been there for a while, and they think that they kind of know the place, but they really only know their department. They kind of try and tell me what to do or try and coach me on what to do. But I know how to do my job, and like I'm in the position for a reason. You can definitely see how they've never. I would say that they never seen it before. Like they always tell me how like this is the youngest person they ever seen running the front end, and it's definitely like kind of funny to see like different sides of how some people really support me and really like be like, oh my, like dude, that's really good for you or whatever, and others will like kind of like be watching me in a way and like they don't think that I should be where I'm at, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. Even at my job, like I've had certain times where I'll be in one portion making food and I'll have like two 30-year-olds and 50-year-olds talking crap about me in the drink section for whatever reason because I messed up. And, you know, everyone messes up. And I feel like a lot of the time, since you're a teenager or since you're younger, they think that they can just say whatever and pick on you. And it's very frustrating because those are things that you do remember because it's like, this is one of my first jobs. I'm going to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think sometimes some of it comes from jealousy too, just because you could be working the same position as them or higher and they're double your age. And
I can piggyback off that with I have had experience with a coworker being older than me and being in a lower position, and they just hate to see that I'm there and hate to get see that I'm taking charge and being over them and delegating like tasks and stuff to them. I don't know, it's definitely like it's like hard for them to sit there and be okay with it in a way, like, but I definitely had moments where it's like gotten kind of bad to the point of like sending people home and doing stuff like that. It's like,
right.
Yeah.
No, yeah. And like a lot of the time too, like it can be something so simple and so small and they just blow it up because for whatever reason they're not happy to see you in that position. And I'm not even saying it has anything to do with race or anything like that, like just in general. I know lots of kids and teenagers experience things that we experience.
Yeah.
And it's very frustrating, but
because people, they see stuff nowadays of how kids are doing this and that, and they see it as a whole. Like they see this kid is doing it, so everybody's doing it. You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, I can kind of understand in a way, but I can't. Like, you can't kind of look at everybody and have that picture painted for everybody.
Right, because definitely not everyone's the same, and it's just annoying and it's frustrating, but it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, you just gotta keep
That's
moving.
honestly all you can do. It is what it is.
Yeah. What about you, London? Have you experienced anything when it comes to like people like trying to like show their power over you? Or?
No, not really. I haven't really like encountered anybody that like acts that way. Like any like cashiers are usually pretty nice. I feel like everyone at our store is somewhat nice. Like you do get rude people here and there, but like I feel like everyone kind of like just like minds their business and like does their job.
I would say our store is kind of a smaller store, so it's easier for everybody to like get along in a way because we're all next to each other the whole entire time. Our store is so small where we all literally work in a couple feet radius of each other, so we have to get along. It's not like I can work on one side of the store and you're on the other side of the store and we can separate like that. Like if I were to work in a different like store or a different region or something, we're in a really small store where we have to work together at all times, and you're cross-trained in grocery and front end, so you're gonna have to go over there and help at some point. So it's like being in our size store, that kind of does help with like having a good, well-ran store, everybody getting along.
But I mean, like we do have like this one cashier who's a little bit older who literally causes issues with everyone, like everyone talk to.
She's had like multiple issues where like she just has multiple issues with like everyone
like everyone, like every person, every cashier that I've talked to has had an issue with her, and it's like, what are you doing? It's like,
and at that point my front end is mainly ran by minors. We have mostly minors. We have 3 morning people, and those people, they're over the age of 18. And everybody else is minors. So anytime she works the night shifts, with just all she can, that's all her availability fits for, she sees the night crew, which is the minors, and she just, it's hard for her because she sees everybody sitting there on their phone, which they shouldn't be, but there's kind of like nothing. I wouldn't say, I'm not trying to promote it, but if like there's kind of nothing to do, so you're gonna sit there on your phone if there's no customers, and she just it does something to her to the point of like there's always issues arising from that, and there's always meetings happening and pulling the union in and talking to her about this and that, and always having to have meetings with her, and it's kind of hard in a way because I feel like I shouldn't be talking to her about this and going like.
And also, I feel like she has an entitlement problem. Like
I think she does.
She
as well.
like she feels like having to do like certain training that everyone in the front end does and everyone in the store does is like them targeting her. Like no, like everyone has done the training. Like what are you talking about?
Yeah, like if I have to have a conversation with my, like for example, last week I think it was, I had a conversation with all my cashiers about our bag sales because they were down and I wanted them to a certain percentage that they weren't at. So I had a conversation with everybody, and that conversation went well with everybody but her, and it blew up to the point of me and my store manager having to have a conversation with her, with our union rep. So like there's stuff like that where it's like it's hard, but.
And I think it's good too because obviously like that's not like every like person who's older that we work with. Definitely like it's honestly it's very few, I guess you could say, that do act that way. Like there are lots of good people that we've met, that we've experienced with, that I know of, that are older than us and kind of take us under their wing for a little while.
I know, and want to teach you and want you.
I remember this one time this guy was buying alcohol and I asked him for his ID because you have to ID everyone. If you want to buy alcohol, you need an ID. I can't sell you the alcohol if you don't have an ID. Just point blank period. So he's coming on the line. He's like, you know, like it's against my Fourth Amendment right to show you my ID. Okay, so don't buy alcohol.
Right.
But like I still got his ID, but it was just like every time I've gotten it, it's just an issue. It's like shut up.
And it's like definitely like not all of them. I think that a lot of them like do tend to look the same, and not look the same, but they're white. And
I would say they're white, and I would say they're older. I would definitely say there's a difference there with age. I would like they don't like to be told that they need to show their ID. Like they don't like to be getting told something from a younger person.
But
that's what it is.
My thing is like I don't think like this, but like maybe it's because like they're being told what to do by a black person and they're like not really.
I don't even think it's that. Like I think honestly, just in general, like he said, like they just don't like being told what to do. Like in all honesty, like, and I think it's just like a generational thing. Like you know, back in the day, people used to think if a younger person spoke up to an elder, it was seen as disrespect.
Oh yeah.
And
like
people,
that's still now.
And
you
a
know?
lot and I mean, a grocery store and you know, just certain stores in general, everyone goes to. It doesn't matter your age. You have to eat. You have to get the necessities that you need. So you're gonna see all different age groups in there, whether it's someone who's 20 or whether it's someone who's 60 or 70. And a lot of the older people like to make it known that they are older in a way. And so there's nothing wrong with it though. And honestly, like we've said before, that's not every single experience that we've had. It's just been a repetitive thing. And I've experienced it too. I worked at a way bigger store than they worked at. It was like triple, double the size. And every single day, like I just remember like getting into it with someone, not even necessarily like an old person. It would just be someone. And like, you know, it gets to a point where you're thinking, okay, like, is it me? Like, am I the issue? But like, no, that's definitely not what it was. Like some people are just very, very entitled because they see you as a cashier and they automatically deem you as someone who's lower than them. And that goes back to what they said about entitlement. Like people are very, very entitled, even though we're all trying to do the same thing, which is like grow in life. But they see you as a cashier and they think, oh, like some poor black kid a lot of the time. Like I remember even when I was behind the cash register, people would be so surprised when I told them what school I went to, and people would just be so extremely shocked about the way that I would talk or sometimes the way that I would look. They'd be like, oh my gosh, like what? And so yeah, that's
I mean,
like experience.
I've been asked like what school I go to, and I don't mind telling them, but like I haven't really like experienced anything where like, oh my god, really?
And I think that's a difference too. Like at the end of the day, like everyone is very, very different, and like that's why we're having this conversation in the first place, because we've all had very different experiences. But yeah, like I just remember coming home one day from my job and crying because I was just so fed up with the way that I was being treated, because personally I'd never been treated that way before. It was my first job, and all I've ever known so far is like respect. I mean, obviously as you get older, you're going to start to understand things more and it's going to change. But for me personally, I had never experienced that before, being blatantly discriminated or just blatantly being rude, like people being rude to me. So it was very like hard for me, but the older you get, the more you get used to it, I feel, in a way. And so again, like that's why I say like we've all had very different experiences of where we work, like some good and some bad. So yeah. But
True.
Okay, so the next question I wanted to ask you guys is, do you feel like your voices have been heard at your workplaces? And if so, how? And if not, why?
I haven't really had any issues at my job. Like I've never had to sit up there and sit down with anybody because I come to work and leave. Like I only talk to maybe like 2 people on like a serious basis, but like other than that, like I don't have an issue with anybody. I come there to work and get money and I leave.
I can say that I do feel like my voice is heard at work. I do feel the same way as London. I do come to work and leave after that. I'm not there to make friends and go out to dinner afterwards with you and be your best friend afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But being in my position is hard to not like be interactive and other stuff with the other departments and other people working in the departments. I would say there has been a couple times where like there's been stuff that happened, and being in my position, I feel like I had to address it and get to the bottom of it right then and there, because if I let it prolong and keep going, then it just makes it harder for me to come to work and be the manager there. If I was a cashier, there's stuff that I could sweep under the rug and move on, but being a manager and being in charge of that person and having kind of like a relationship with people at work, a decent one at that, I feel like it's kind of important to be heard and let kind of lay the law down of where you stand at work, because I don't want to be like going into work. I don't want to feel disrespected or be disrespected at all.
Yeah.
And if I feel like I am, I'm gonna take care of it right then and there. I can't move forward with seeing this person walk around the store right next to me working like that, and I'm not gonna just sit there and just take it in a way.
Mm-hmm. Like, and I feel like
like working, I would say working in her size store, I feel like it would be completely different because it's a bigger store. It's constant moving. Where at my store we have rest time, like to get off your register and go help with this and go move in this. That's why we have everybody like so cross trained around the store where you can go and help at any time. I just can't see me like not like making it known that whatever the issue
or something happened. And I think that's where management comes in too, especially like your head management, because again, I think it depends on definitely where you work at. If you work at somewhere where, I know like me personally, like I really like my manager, she's very nice and very sweet, but I know that sometimes she lets things get out of hand a lot of the time. And you know, like I've had my coworkers say the M-word in front of me. It'll be people who shouldn't be saying it. I mean, the M-word shouldn't even be said in general, right? But if you're, you know, not one of the people who should be saying it, I feel like it, and the coworker said it so normalized. And again, that's where another part comes in, where it's like, you know, like sometimes having to educate your coworkers. And honestly, it's sad for me to say this, but I personally just don't have enough confidence right now in my workplace to speak out about it. My store where I work at is very small now, and so I don't want to have issues with anybody. And sometimes, like going back to like older people, like sometimes they just don't really want to hear what you have to say, or you know, like sometimes they just really won't understand it. And not all of them, I'm not trying to generalize them, but personally, like I know the people that I've worked with in the past, like if you do try and confrontation or something like that, they don't really understand it and they think you're just accusing them automatically, or you know, just trying to start something. And so that's where I wish I had more confidence like you to sit up there and be like, you know what, like we have an issue, let's confront it now, like this isn't going to be okay. Like, yeah. And I think again, that's where it comes down to management, because I think personally, like your management allows you to feel that way while mine does not.
Being a cashier, like especially at my job, I've learned how to just hold my tongue. But like I've never ever sat up there and been called an N-word, because I definitely would have shot that down real quick. Obviously I think like growing up in the time that we've grown up, and you definitely have learned how to like control yourself a little bit more, but like being called an N-word, like I mean, like God, I would have to just handle that right then and there.
Especially like if I were to hear that on the management side of one of my cashiers calling one of my other cashiers that, I would feel disrespected.
Wait. Let me be clear. She didn't call me.
No. Yeah, but just like just saying it in general, just saying it out there. If one of my cashiers were to like just shoot me a look, or like just feel like, oh my God, like whatever, I would feel disrespected. Even if you're not even directing at me, if you're on the phone with somebody and you're saying that, and you're saying that on my sales floor, like that's like blatantly like
disregarding me.
That's like
what
do we have to like fire them if they were to do that?
It's something that'd have to be addressed.
That would be something addressed, and at that point, at the store level, I feel like we probably could go from there.
Yeah.
And it would be like how it was said and how it was used and how it's taken in the store. At that point, I feel like me and my store manager, we could probably sit there with our union rep and say, this is not
okay
what we're doing here anymore. You gotta go.
Well, you don't represent the company. I just brush it aside because that's all I've ever seen when it's at the workplace, even when I try and bring attention to it. And so that's something that I definitely want to work on, and something that I wish that I was better at, because it's not okay, and I don't think it's okay. And I know there's multiple other kids like me who sit in silence when a lot of these things happen in their workplaces because they feel like they don't have the support that's needed. And
I definitely feel like, especially being African American, you're definitely gonna take it in a personal way. Like, even like the content, like the content doesn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, you said it, so like you need to be handled.
now I'm his manager at his store, and he used to be a cashier. So I kind of want to hear about how you were able to work your way up to that position and how it's been, besides what you've already told us.
So starting there, I was a cashier until I was 15. I started there at 14. I was a cashier until I was 15, turning 16. So working as a cashier, I don't want to say I hated it, but I hated being on the front end. I hated having I really didn't care to be on the front end. Mm-hmm. So when I turned 15, I moved to the general merchandising department, and I was doing like stuff with medicine and stuff, like putting it on the shelves or whatever. And I hated that as well. Couldn't stand it. So I helped in grocery or whatever. Didn't like that either. So then I started kind of helping my department manager, like kind of learn stuff with her, and like kind of like getting some of the ropes from there. And she was kind of like, I think you would make a good like department lead. So when I turned 16, her and our store manager, they both were like, I really think this is a good fit for you or whatever. So at 16, you can't get approved at the store level to be promoted to a manager. You have to be promoted by the district. So they both were like, I really think you should do this. So they emailed our district manager, Ray, and our district specialist, Michelle. And then they ended up coming in. We had an in-person meeting, and they all were kind of like, I think this is a fit position for you. So I started there. I learned it kind of quick. Once I got on there, I kind of like just took the role in a way, and it just kind of went from there. I worked in that position for like kind of almost I worked there for almost like, we'll say like 7 months. And then my department manager, she just kind of like, this coming year, she just recently, she doesn't work with us anymore. So I'm filling her position. I'm in her position right now. And I like it. I don't have any problems or anything with it. I like more of the responsibility and overseeing the front end and working alongside our office manager. I think I won't say it's fun, but I think it's cool to see the management side of the store and working with my store manager and overseeing the other departments and corresponding with our district and other customer service managers in the store chain. So yeah, I think it's definitely been like rewarding in a way. Yeah, I do enjoy it. It's fun.
That's good. That's very good, because I know like not a lot of kids experience that, honestly. It happened kind of like 2 years is not that long. So
yeah.
I feel like it really goes to show how much like work and dedication you have there.
And I mean, I kind of feel like anybody can do it. Just like kids that put in all the work to go Division I in athletics, you can put in the same work to be in management at a store. Mm-hmm. Like it goes both ways and anywhere. Like if you want to put in work now to start being a nurse, you can start with CNA. You can take classes right now to be a CNA, and when you turn 18, boom, you're a nursing assistant, and then keep going from there. Like I feel like anybody could really put your foot in the door at any place at any time.
Depends on how badly you want it.
It just depends on how badly you want it. Yeah, when I was 13, I would have started working when I was 10 years old. Like I always wanted to like kind of start working and having my own in a way. So I like that aspect of it.
That's good. That's very good.
And then seeing that and getting promoted to that definitely shows the dedication there.
Yeah, it definitely does. You work a lot. I remember you work a lot over the summer. Like you do a lot for the store, which I think is good. Yeah. At the end of the day, like we're all kind of learning things that we're gonna have experience in life when we get older. Like even though a lot of things we experience we may not want to. At the end of the day, like, it's going to help us. Like, I think definitely having a job now, like, it's obviously a lot of it is for the money, like me personally, but it also just teaches you a lot, in my opinion. Like, I've learned how to count money good. I've learned how to organize better. I've learned how to speak to people better. Like, my social skills have gone a lot better. Like, because
I agree.
You have to meet random people that you don't know every single day for your job.
And I would say for me, I have a lot of district specialists and audit people coming into my store, people I've never seen a day in my life, and they walk in, we kind of have to talk like we know each other and collaborate, and I have to show them all my stuff and give it to them like that. And it's not like I can be shy and not mumble my words and be like kind of like whatever. I have to be the one in charge. I have to represent my store, my front end to that person.
Or even when it's like a new hire or something. Yeah, like that.
Like I just got a new cashier, I can't, and it's like one of my peers from school, so it's like I have to learn how to
be professional.
Right, I have to learn how to be professional and train in the store, but then we can still like be whatever in school. I'm training one of my cashiers right now to be one of the front end leads, and it's definitely I would say I kind of like the way that the relationship, because I don't want to say that we're friends in school, but we're not like enemies or whatever. Like, I like him, I can talk to him about whatever. I feel like it's like cool.
All right, so the last question I'm going to ask you guys today is, what advice would you give just teenagers in general starting their first job, or teenagers in color specifically as well starting their first job?
I mean, I would say get a job as early as you possibly can, because it gives you like exposure to like how to be more social, because as you get older, you need to understand that you need to have confidence in yourself, especially like from here on in. Like, you're probably going to be working for the rest of your life until you retire. So you having more exposure from getting your first job will be really, really good to have social cues, meet new people. And it also just gives you money in your pocket so that you don't have to freaking beg your parents to buy you V-Bucks, or, you know, it's just nice to have
like
money.
A new sense of freedom.
Yeah.
I would say that as well. Getting a job just for that factor of having your own and being your own. I would say try and make connections while you're out as well, because I feel like from where I'm at, I feel like I have a lot of resources and connections with people that I could put on a resume to reference me, and I feel like I could put my boss's name on there and she would give me a really good reference and really like speak highly of me, instead of having like teachers at school or like coaches or whatever that would talk highly of you.
Some advice that I would say is, don't be afraid to stick up for yourself. Like, if someone's like disrespecting you or being rude to you, you need to understand you need to put your foot down. You can't kiss their behind, because like as you get older, you can't make everybody happy.
Right.
That's just a part of life. You just can't make everybody happy. So if you do need to put your foot down, put your foot down. Go to your manager. If the manager's not doing anything, go to the union or do something. Or last resort, quit. Be like, I quit. Bye.
Right.
And leave and get a new
job.
Because
there's multiple places that need help at any age, really. Yeah. So it's not like you're stuck there. So I wouldn't say.
And sometimes, you just have to, like, that's what I did at my last job. It's to a point where you just have to know your worth and be like, is it really worth it?
And also, I also feel like if you get a job earlier, like, maybe like you do need the job, but like I feel like once you get the job earlier, you won't necessarily like have like your back to the wall and like oh yeah, like I need this job to pay my bills. Once you like get more exposure, you can be like, you know,
save, all that.
But anyways,
so thank you so much for watching, you guys, and I'll see you next time.